Hey everyone, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me. We are going to have some fun with mixed media today. It's been far too long since I've done mixed media, and it's really my favorite thing to do, so we're going to do a little bit of that. I have a couple of products here. We have the Butterfly Splatter BetterPress and Die set from Spellbinders. We have the Tattered Stripes Stencil set from Spellbinders as well, and then the Bubble Zone Stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. So this is a stencil set. You can see that the pieces fit together, and you can use them separately or together, but they are going to work together if you want them to. You'll have pretty much a seamless finish if you decide to do that. Not sure if we're going to do that today, because I kind of like to not think when I do mixed media. I just kind of grab a couple of things and start playing. As it is, I had to plan too much to get this video even started because I like to just go on the fly, but I did pull a few things. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is move these over. We're going to work on a piece of craft cardstock today, and I think that that's going to give us some nice effect because I'm going to use Distress Oxides. I've got Stormy Sky, peeled paint, and Seedless preserves, and we're going to use these for our stencils, and I'm not really sure what else. We're going to kind of see where this takes us. So I'm going to start by laying this on here. I really like this piece, so I think that we're going to start with that. You know what? I'm going to use a different magnet. I'm going to use this magnet because I don't want to go past that line. And I think that I want to start with Seedless preserves. I've got some mini ink blending tools, and I'm going to just apply this color. Usually when I'm stenciling, I use a gel press plate to kind of hold my stencil and my cardstock in place, but because we're going for sort of a messy look, we're not doing that today. I'm going to just kind of apply this color. I'm not worried about it being perfect, but I do want to get some coverage on there. And I really like this piece here, so I want to make sure I get that. Can kind of lift that up. Yeah, that's good. See that? Cool. I'm going to do a little bit more up here. I think that piece looks good. And we'll go in with more of that Seedless preserves. This particular foam has seen better days. I really should retire it, but I just didn't feel like it at this point. I do have some new ones. I should just pull those out. All right, I think that that's pretty good. Yeah, I like how that fades out better than the harsh lines that are over here. Okay, so move that to the side. I don't really know if I want to, maybe we'll do a little bit. We'll do a little bit of this other stencil. So you're going to just line it up with what you've got in place already. I think we'll go in with the Stormy Sky for that. This has a better foam on it. I don't want to do very much. I just want a hint of this color. See that? That looks pretty cool. I like that. Okay, let's do the other side a little bit. It's going to be this piece here. You can see how easy it is to line that up. And I think that's good enough. That looks great. Okay, Distress Oxides on craft is always a good choice. I'm just going to clean up these oxides here so I don't get my fingers in them because that is going to happen at some point. Let's grab my other stencil. Again, this one's from A Colorful Life Designs. It's called Bubble Zone. And we're going to just go to town putting some of these bubbles here and there. Get my magnet in place. Whoops. That is a destroyed foam, guys. This is time to get thrown out. Yeah. Okay, so foams do have an expiration date, and this one has met its expiration date. Wow. Look at that. Can't say I didn't use it though, right? All right, let's see how this looks. Not bad, not bad. I like it. Okay. Doesn't show too much, but that's okay. We can always add more of this later. Now we are going to go in with the BetterPress plate. I've got my BetterPress here. And if you don't have one of these yet, I highly encourage you to check out my video about why it's great to have a BetterPress, because this tool is so good. I love tools, but it's got to really be useful in my studio space, in my workshop, whatever. And this one is, oh my gosh, it's such a great tool. So we've got this fabulous butterfly, and it kind of turned into Splatter. So I really want to highlight that. I think that we're going to go like this and have it kind of coming off the edge. So I'm going to turn this over. And I want to line this cardstock up correctly so that I can tape it down or tape it onto this piece here. So what I'm going to do, I've got some washi tape. I'm going to apply the washi tape to my cardstock where the BetterPress plate is not. Like so. We'll do one more over here. This is not very good washi tape. I mean, a lot of washi tape doesn't hold very well, and this is definitely one of them. But that's okay, because I don't want it to pull up the cardstock at all once I try to remove it. So now I'm going to go like this, push this down, and now, whoop, or not. Wait, you know what? I just remembered. My friend Justine has a fantastic tip that she taught me in one of her videos. Justine has a great tip. Okay, so we're going to do this. Place this here, and then we're going to take our magnet and go like that. And now I can tape this down. Like so. We know it's in the right spot. And now I can remove the magnet, and the plate is going to be right where I want it to be. How cool is that? Oh, so good. I did it a little bit differently than her, but that's all right. Okay. I've got VersaFine Clair in Pinecone. This is a nice, rich brown. It's more of a neutral brown. One of the other browns, I think it's Acorn, is a very reddish brown. I didn't really want to have a reddish brown on this. There's another brown as well from the Clair collection. I forget what it's called at the moment, but this is my favorite brown of the three. Okay. I'm not worried about this spot here because you're not going to see it. It's going to be hanging off the card. Okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay. Now that that's done, let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, you could see it a little bit. That's okay. It doesn't matter. I like that you can see the peeled paint coming through that. That's cool. Okay, clean this up and move on. I've cleaned off the Bubble Zone stencil, and we're going to use that again. But we're going to use it differently this time. I've got ridiculously old embossing paste. This is from Dreamweaver Stencil, who sadly is no longer in business. And I've got some white paste of theirs. This stuff lasts forever. This is like the best brand, and I'm so sad you can't get it anymore. Anyway, use what you've got. So this is just a white paste. It's not a glossy paste. And I'm just going to apply it here and there with my palette knife. And just kind of get some more of these dots happening. You can see that I'm not using a whole lot. I'm keeping it pretty thin. And I like to use the back of the knife because you can't really get to this part because of your work surface, right? So you want to use the back. That's sticking to my magnet. Okay. I think that that is pretty good. Wipe off your excess, get it back into that tub, close this off, And you want to make sure that you lift off and clean your stencil immediately. This looks super harsh right now. We're going to fix that. Don't worry. That's cool so far, though. Okay, I'm going to go clean off my stencil. I'm going to clean off my magnet and my desk, and we'll be right back. I've got bundled sage and chipped sapphire distress embossing powder, and we're going to use some of that on this embossing paste. Just sprinkling some of this on. And you don't have to use the wow, let me start that again. You don't have to use the distress powders for this. You can use whatever embossing powders you've got. I don't have very many of the distress powders, actually. I have lots of other brands, but I figured we'd use these today. Just sprinkling this on. That looks okay. Looks like a hot mess right now. Don't worry. We're going to just kind of tap, tap, tap. Move that powder around a bit. It's not going to stick to the other ink at this point. And if it does, that's okay, because this is a translucent powder, so we don't need to worry about it. So now I'm going to take my heat tool and start to heat it from underneath. And I'm heating it from underneath because I don't want all of this powder to blow all over the place. And I'm getting the bottom of the cardstock warmed up so that we can then bring it to the top. Although, you know what? I want to move this because we're not going to put this back in the jars. But I don't want to get it everywhere. This is going to bubble. I'm fine with that. It's just the water that's inside that's evaporating. It's nice to use a translucent powder when you're doing this because then they just look like droplets all over. Gives a little shine and additional texture. All right. Looking pretty cool so far. We need to do a lot more though. Any of the excess powder that blew everywhere, I just use a Swiffer to clean that up, and it works really well. I've got ground espresso now, and we're going to go across the edges a bit. I might actually go directly with the pad. I prefer that heavier kind of look. Yeah, that's better. And we're just kind of messily going across that edge. See that? That's great. I like that. You don't have to worry about it on the embossing powder areas. We can just buff that off with a cloth. Okay, that looks good. Much better with that than the foam, in my opinion. I've got a cloth here, and we're going to just buff off wherever it hit the embossing powder, because it's not going to stick. It's going to resist it. Just like that. We're getting there. We need more layers, though. It's all about the layers. Off camera, I decided to make a new BetterPress impression of the butterfly because I want this to be our focal point and not just disappearing into the background. So I thought that we would pop this up like that. Keep in mind, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to change your plan. If you decide that this isn't working and maybe you don't even like the butterfly anymore, you can cover it up with ephemera and all of that. So don't feel like anything is so precious that you need to leave it as is. Okay? So while this looks okay, this is going to be better. but we're going to amp it up a little bit, of course. So I have Lindy's Magical in Witch's Potion Purple. And we're going to just do a little tappy tap of this pigment. This is highly pigmented powder that has a great shimmer to it. And we're going to hit it with some water. And the colors are going to be gorgeous because it's not just one color of pigment in here. It's lots of them. And I have a few videos that have Lindy's Magicals in them. So you can definitely do a quick search on my channel and take a look at that. Okay, plain water. Gonna hit it with that. And now I've got a brush. I'm gonna make a puddle of water right here. And just kind of move this color around a bit. I'm not looking for perfection. We're looking for just color splatter. That's looking cool. See that? Look at that shine. Isn't that nice? I think I want some more though. So you know what? Instead of using that little kind of shovel-y kind of end of my pokey tool, I'm going to just use my fan brush. This is usually what I use when I'm applying magicals. It's a fan brush, which somehow got this funny bend in it. I need to work on that. I need to fix it. Okay, that should be more than enough. Back in with the water. Look at that. Oh, yeah. See that? Isn't that pretty? Yep. That's going to be cool. All right. I'm going to kind of move this color around a little bit over here. Just getting some color to move. And then I'm going to leave it to dry. Perfect. I'm not loving the bundled sage. I really wanted to use something like Mowed Lawn or Rustic Wilderness, but I don't have the Distress glazes in that color. And I didn't really think of checking my other ones. So whatever. We're going to work with it. Again, nothing is precious here. So I've got some watercolors. These are from Kuretake, the same company that makes the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. And I really just want more green. So we're going to just do a little splattering. This is super basic. I just want some splatter. Maybe I'll go in and do a little bit of like finicky playing with the brush, but I doubt it. We're just adding some color. See that? That's what I want. Now again, the embossing powder is going to resist the color, so it'll sit on top of it, but it's not actually going to dry on it. So we'll have to go in with a paper towel and just kind of buff it off, or one of these cloth towels. These are great too. Okay, where's my butterfly? My butterfly is here. See, that's looking better. Yeah, okay. That's all we needed. If you don't have watercolors, you can use a spray. If you don't have sprays, take your Distress inks or other water-based, water-reactive inks, and then apply them to your mat, whatever kind of mat surface you work on, and get some water on there and use that. Like, there's different things. You don't have to use exactly what I'm using here. So don't be like, oh, now I gotta go buy watercolors. You don't. Use what you have. That's one of the nice things about mixed media. You can just play with all the things. I'm liking this. Okay. Made sure my butterfly was dry. Now I have Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide, and we're going to just hit the edges a bit with that. Makes that tearing stand out a little bit more. And it just adds another color. But again, we're working with blues and purples and greens. So we're not like all of a sudden throwing an orange in there. Like, where did that come from? That's looking pretty cool. Okay, I think what I want to do is pop this up so that we can throw a sentiment on here and maybe a couple of other die cuts. This is black 1 inch wide by 1 millimeter thick foam tape from scrapbook.com. They also have white, but I wanted to use black here. Perfect. Just a little bit of lift, which is all we needed. I've got this die that is part of this set. Forgive me, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it will be linked in the description. It's part of the Beautifully Imperfect collection, which is where the butterfly is from, also from Spellbinders. So I thought that it would look really nice in this burgundy color. It looks nice with the Seedless Preserves Distress Oxide, and we're going to just kind of, boop, kind of have it like that. You could do this with string. You don't have to have this die. But I thought it'd be nice to use this little die set. There's some really cool dies in there that look like twine or thread and have like this faux stitched look. They're pretty cool. So I'm just going to add some glue. It is a very fine, delicate die, but that's all right. We're going to just kind of scoochy this underneath here, over here, and underneath again. And just kind of place that down. I need a magnet. And that can just hang out like that. Okay, that has sat for a few minutes. I like it. I think that I want to add more Seedless Preserves. We're going to use that on the edge of the card base. And I just want you to keep in mind, like, as you watch this video or any of my other mixed media videos, and I said this before with the watercolors, use whatever you feel like it. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing. You can just play around with what you have. My whole purpose for making this card today is to kind of let you have the ability to, I guess, be free. Like, here's permission for you to play and make a mess and make something different and cool and have fun. Look at that. Oh, isn't that nice how it's coming together? I am digging that. Okay, I think we need a sentiment now. So I'm totally giving you permission to just have a good time and not worry about messing up. Okay? Because sometimes we need to tell ourselves it's okay, but we don't like to give ourselves permission to do things. So here's your notice. Have a good time. Okay, so I've got some Stormy Sky on here. It says, "Don't be tamed." This is also from Spellbinders. And we're going to just add this to that. I don't love the white. I probably should have gone over it with something else first, but it's okay. We will fix that. Yeah, I think that's cool. I grabbed an E21 marker. I don't even know what this color is really going to look like, but I'm just going to... I don't want it to be white. There's no white anywhere. But again, see, I'm just experimenting. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's okay. Go back over it a little bit. Yeah, okay. We're going to glue this all down. This is glued. I've got some more black foam tape on my sentiment. I'm going to stick this on there. I'm still not liking this. I need to do something to that. Maybe green. Okay, this is G21. Yep, that's better. Better. Okay. That's our card, you guys. Look at that. Isn't that fun? This is a blast. I know this is a longer video, but it's hard to make mixed media videos fast unless I like speed them up and do voiceovers, but I need you to hear my process. I feel like that's important. So this looks amazing. I think it's really rad. Let me know in the comments, like, do you want more of these? Because I kind of do. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope that you're going to give yourself permission to play. I will be back real soon with another video. Thanks so much for hanging out. Be well, stay safe. Peace out.